Greetings, everyone. My name is Rick Mannon, and I'm an inductee into the Brantford and Area Sports Hall of Recognition. I'm honored today to have Suzanne Paulins here, a fellow inductee into the Sports Hall, and in the sport of swimming as a builder.
As a builder.
So greetings, Suzanne.
Nice to see you, Rick.
Yeah. Suzanne, just a few questions for you that we want to understand a little bit about you and your story and what it's like being inducted into the Sports Hall. So how about we just dive right into it?
Sounds good.
Boom, boom. Dive.
Dive.
Okay.
Well done. Well done.
No, you probably get that. Okay, so the first one. What drew you into the sport of swimming?
So I think I was brought into the sport really early on. I grew up in Trenton, Ontario. My parents actually both were born and raised in Brantford, and Mount Pleasant in Brantford. They moved to Trenton when they got married and raised their family, and they put us all into swimming. My grandmother was swept overboard on a ship and was not a good swimmer and had to be rescued, and so my parents were, you will all swim. They were both strong swimmers, but that was a trigger point for my brother, sister, and I all to make sure we were swimmers. And then I started competitive swimming and never really looked back, and it's interwoven in my life for the last 50 plus years.
Wow. I didn't expect that first part.
I know, it
that
was
is a story.
It was, yeah. It was made the paper where it happened, and
Wow.
that she'd been swept overboard, and it was obviously terrifying for everyone concerned, but then it was, there was no question swimming was going to be a big part of our lives.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any mentors that have had an impact on your life, or your sport, career?
Yeah, definitely. I would say the biggest mentors right from the get-go, my parents. I think both my mom and dad were heavily involved in our club as volunteers and as builders within our little club, the Trenton Dolphins. My dad was also a high school football coach, and so giving back and everything that he did with the players that came through, I think looking back, they set me on this path to here. There's no question in my mind. It really starts with them. I think then coming to the club in Brantford has had such a strong history of swimming and of builders and officials. And so when I started with the club and, I had this little 7-year-old start swimming, we went to our first swim meet. I had no desire to sit in the stands with the other parents. It's put me to work, give me something to do. And so Kim Smith was the meet manager for Brantford at the time, and she, really taught me so much about being a meet manager. And then Jeff Lee and Dave Schufelt, who are both inductees into the hall.
Well-known names.
Yeah, so they definitely have been mentors, and the fact that both Dave and Jeff are both had both been named to the FINA list, which it was the International Swimming Federation. And so when I was named to the International Federation, 3 of us from Brantford, it's quite a legacy to come from this club. And so I would say those 3 in particular, huge mentors from the Brantford Aquatic Club perspective.
Great, that's great. All 3 great names. Okay. What are some highlights of your career?
It's been an amazing ride. Never thought I would be where I am. I think, if I look at it from the officials' perspective and what I did on the officiating side, that first international assignment, I was lucky. I was sent to Hawaii. Can't
Very
complain
nice. No.
to go to Hawaii for your first international assignment. But the biggest one on the officiating side was the World Short Course Championships in Hangzhou, China in 2018. That was an experience to be on that world stage. Pan Am Games, of course, as well. But Hangzhou and traveling to China by myself, that was definitely a big one. And then on the administrator side, there have been so many, whether I think about from the club perspective, being the club president, to Swim Ontario and working on the Swim Ontario board, but then starting as staff at Swimming Canada. Never expected I'd be sitting here as the CEO now of Swimming Canada, having just come back from the Paris Olympics. So when you think about a highlight, there can't be any highlight greater than going to Paris and being at the Olympic Games.
The entire thing sounds like a highlight.
It absolutely.
Terrific.
It's been an unbelievable journey.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this may be, we've talked about this a little bit, but how swimming impacted your life?
It's had a profound impact. I think when I look at it and the work that I do now, it's, for me, my why in the sport has always been my kids. my why are my swimmers, my kids, and by extension, every swimmer that they've ever competed with. And now in the job that I'm in, those athletes are so important to me. And so when I think about what it means to be in this sport, for me, it's about the athletes and the impact that they have on me, but the impact that I can have on them as they travel through this sport and go to what is next in their lives. So to me, the impact of sport has touched everything, but my family being the primary one. It's been huge.
That sounds like a great answer. So what does it mean to you to be inducted into the Sports Hall?
It's such an honor, and it was unexpected. I did not see it coming when I got the call, but it's such an honor, and I think because of the legacy of sport in Brantford, it crosses, it's just undescribable in this community what sport is, and to be part of the swimming community in Brantford is incredibly humbling. They are such wonderful people, both past and present, and to know that I've been a small part of that journey, it's incredible. And so when you think the swimming community and the athletes and the coaches and the builders that have been inducted, but then the broader sport community, yourself, I mean, there's so many names that have been, looked up to over the years, and so to see myself among those, it's very humbling and very honoring.
It is humbling, but you've earned the right.
Yeah, well,
You
thank
certainly
you.
have. Well, so what advice would you share with a young aspiring athlete?
I think you never know where your journey is going to take you. I was a young club swimmer. I was pretty good, but not at a provincial or national level. I went on to high school swimming, and sport was always part of my life. And then you don't know how it's going to intertwine and intersect back into your life. And so I think being open to understand where you can bring yourself back to sport as you progress from a summer job, which I had one at SWO Ontario, and then working at the World Junior Track and Field Championships in Sudbury. You don't know where you will intersect with sport again. And masters swimming, there's so many opportunities to always keep sport in your life, whether you make the Olympic team or a national or international team, or whether you end up an adult with kids and your kids are involved, and you can always give back. And so I think that is the advice, is to always look for the opportunity to be involved in a sport that you love and find ways to grow in it as you work through your stages of life.
Wow. Great. This has been really enlightening to me.
Thank you.
So thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Suzanne Paulins, builder, inductee into the Brantford Area Sports Hall. Thank you for being here and sharing some insight into your story and what it means to be inducted into the Sports Hall. Thank you for watching. I invite you to check our website out for information, more information on Suzanne. But also, better still, come down to our sports hall in the Wayne Gretzky Sports Complex in Brantford.